Yeah, I don't know that, again, it was in Philadelphia, so people were, I think they want to test you when you first come in. And if you're Canadian, that's another thing they ride your ass about a little bit in there in Philadelphia. So I wasn't really perceived with the greatest recognition when I first came in there, and because it was a day and age of barely internet, and just a few people here and there had seen actual videotapes of me that were sent over with FMW stuff. Had a couple good matches, and had one with Sabu, which I think was a phenomenal match. The psychology and the ups and downs, and the super heavyweight power guy versus the guy who could do backflips off my chest. Literally, I would shoot him up to do a backdrop, and then he'd do a drop kick off my chest, or he'd do a backflip, planting both feet off my chest because I could stand my ground, and he had a firm planting for him to do his flip from, right? I mean, it was crazy stuff. It was really cool. And but then I had one match with the Dudley brothers, and I was backstage with Paulie, and Paulie says, "Okay, man, here's what I want you to do with the six-man tag." And I personally have never liked six-man tags to start with. It's very difficult to shine on your own. Usually they end up as a cluster and a mess. And when fans are trying to watch this guy, that guy, and the other guy, well, two guys each, all at once, nobody really gets a chance to shine that brightly unless they're already a big, big superstar, But I said, my Razor Ramon, because I imitated a lot of guys just having fun, the Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, things like that. And I said, "What the hell do you want me to do, man?" And Paulie says, "Oh my God, can you do that out there?" And he's tripping out, and I'm like, "Uh-oh, maybe I got myself in a bad position here." But they were doing stuff like the Blue Meanie as Shawn Michaels, and Stevie Richards as Diesel, and they were doing a lot of parodies out there, which were really hot with the fans. They really loved it. So I talked to, I think, Sabu and Chris Benoit were there at the time, and I don't mean to bring up bad news or sad situations there or anything, but Chris was always cool to me, and it's very sad what happened. But at the time, it was just like another one of the guys, and I said, "What do you think? Should I do this or and they both said, "Well, you never know, man. It might lead somewhere, and you might get a regular spot in the U.S., which I'd been wanting to do for a while, as one of these parody guys, and you might get over real big." So I thought, okay, I'll do it. So I went out there and did the Razor Ramon thing, and I pulled a curl down my head, and I actually had stubble growing in, because at the time the goatee was the hot thing. Like everybody and their dog in ECW had a goatee, and I usually wore one in Japan, but this time I thought, well, I don't want to look like everybody else, so I grew in full stubble. And my hair was pretty dark, and put the toothpick in and played the role and everything. And the fans popped as soon as I took the mic. They had a blast with it. But from there, the Dudley brothers sort of saw me as the new guy. And I think I was partnered up with a couple guys that weren't really popular. And they just figured, this is our territory, this is our ground. We're gonna try and squash these guys, or just take 90% of the match or something like that. And quickly it turned into not what we had called in the back, but into just a mess. And but at that time, one of the WWE referees I heard, who was also one of the bookers or help book, had seen me do this character, and he thought it was great, and he told Vince about it. I'd been hanging out with Bret Hart a bit in Calgary, and Bret got me a tryout as Rick Titan, and that went quite well as a real vicious heel. But then Vince called me up a couple weeks later and says, "Yeah, the people want Razor Ramon back, and I own the trademark, the copyright, et cetera, and I want you to be my new Razor Ramon." And it was mixed emotions. I was excited to get into the WWE. That would have been a 10-year goal for me by that time, and I'd finally gotten an opportunity to do it. And I thought, if I say no to this, I may never get in there. He might be spited because of it, and that's it for me in the U.S. So I said yes to it, and I asked him, well, can we transform it into something else? Can we evolve it into something else? Maybe change the character name a bit, or maybe put long pants on and be more of an Antonio Banderas Mexican type character, and maybe make it a little more evil or something. I was trying to think of other ways where I could make it my own character, because I had a pretty good feeling that people were going to reject it. And then Scott and Kevin went over to WCW, and, you know, funny thing is, if they had gone over there and then Scott Hall had just turned into the Diamond Stud again, or just Scott Hall and had only gotten over as big as he had been in WCW before, then it wouldn't have been as bad. But him and Kevin went in there and created the NWO with Hulk Hogan, and it was probably the biggest impact in professional wrestling of all time, right? So then I was really big.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. But, you know, it was fun. It was fun. It was decent money, and I can say I've been there, and those are all the good sides to it.